When we were young, we read books for fun, exploring different fictional worlds. We would play tag with our friends. We ran until we couldn't. We were encouraged to try different sports. There were even brief years where we were taught to express ourselves creatively. But soon, we gave that up. For most of our time is now donated to these rectangles. But when we look at many of the greats of history, the Renaissance men, the polymaths, they maintained these hobbies well throughout their lives. There was this long-standing philosophy that we all have an immense capacity to master different skills and arts in our lives. And each of these areas of knowledge allow us to become our best selves and gain a better understanding of this world. As someone who, by complete coincidence, has embraced this way of life and has noticed the benefits, I realize that it's not that hard to become a polymath. You just have to incorporate these 3 habits. As kids, we all had a curiosity to learn about things. We actually like to read. And whether it's because we're more chronically online right now, or because school destroys our interest in reading, by the time we become adults, most of us never pick up a book again. But it doesn't have to be this way. When I first started my self-improvement journey, I began by reading self-help books. And while I believe that there's not a lot that these books can teach you that you can't simply learn from living your life, they are a good start. They are easy to read, and they give you that sense of accomplishment. And for me, they were definitely a gateway drug to explore more interesting niche genres of literature. And for you, those genres can take many different forms based on what you're interested in. If you haven't read a book in a while and you're kind of rusty, I definitely would recommend going to a local bookstore, just perusing and trying to find some titles that you might be interested in reading. An even easier start would be to explore long-format content like YouTube videos, podcasts, and audiobooks. I find that these can be useful forms of constructive consumption as long as your use of them is intentional and educational. And I think that you'll find that this regrown curiosity to learn, paired with all the niche information that you pick up, will just give you different perspectives on life that will, in a way, make you a more interesting intellectual individual. The true mark of a Renaissance man or a polymath is their creative work. Their art, their film, their music, their inventions. These are all little pieces of themselves that they donate to the world. And these are the kind of works that can provide us with purpose, as well as a creative outlet with which to express ourselves. But as awesome as it sounds, this is definitely the habit that's the hardest to stay consistent with. I mean, let's face it, most of us are busy with jobs, school, families, etc. And these kind of hobbies take that time and consistency. I mean, hell, the only reason that I've gotten back into art and have gotten somewhat consistent with YouTube videos is because I gave myself a 6-month gap between graduating college and starting my full-time job to really explore these creative endeavors. I've also found that external factors really help me to stay consistent. For me, these include setting goals for channel growth, making art for my friends, as well as signing up for an art show, which is a completely new experience for me. These actions have forced me to stay consistent, and through this consistency, I've began to see the benefits. I mean, I love the state of flow that I get into when I'm working on creative projects. And it's an awesome feeling to see the growth of my channel, to see the progression from my first YouTube videos to the videos I make now. And so from that perspective, overcoming those minor feelings of discomfort when you get started and even along the way are well worth the effort. If you watch my videos for a while, you know that I'm a big proponent of fitness. I mean, my first idea for this channel was to make fitness videos for skinny Indian kids on how to bulk up. And while that isn't necessarily the focus of this channel anymore, I don't think the day will ever come where I stop training. If anything, I put more on my plate now. I'm now trying to become the hybrid athlete with more of a focus on mental endurance. There's a reason that many polymaths, many Renaissance men, were proponents of physical conditioning. They knew it had nothing to do with the muscles, but more so about sharpening the mind. By training hard with resistance and cardiovascular movements, they helped their minds to release those dark thoughts of fear, anxiety, and doubt. And in turn, this freed up space for creativity and learning. Not to mention, taking a break to train and release stress can be the ultimate source of inspiration and innovation. So even if training for you means taking 10 to 20 minutes to just walk outside, that can be huge in maximizing the usefulness of those other 2 habits. And that's it. With these 3 habits, you've set the foundation to become the true Renaissance man, or polymath, and have an impact on this world. I know implementing these is a lot easier said than done, but if you can take even 10 minutes a day to work on each of these habits, I think you'll see noticeable changes in your life. I know I have. This Renaissance mentality is what led to the creation of this YouTube channel. And while it just started off as a hobby, it's much more than that to me now. I bring this up to emphasize that what starts off as a creative endeavor could turn into something much more meaningful and impactful for you. So keep an open mind and try out that creative hobby that you've always wanted to. You never know where it'll lead you. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now get off the internet.